Hello, fellow armchair generals. This is Gamer1745 here, and I'll be getting more real content coming soon. It's just a combination of work, the Hearts of Iron 4 series stopping abruptly without being prepared anything new to go in its place. Obviously, we're looking at Japan and Hearts of Iron 3. And so I will be continuing that soon, but my work schedules and other stuff sort of interrupted that and made it, because I'm having to play some of it to sort of learn at least the starting of it and figure out what, buttons to push, what options to have at start and that kind of thing. So we'll be up to real content pretty soon. And one of the viewers was asking, where do I get my thumbnail images? And I've been asked 3 or 4 times at least, and that's not a lot, I know, about where do I get them and stuff in the past. And I mean, part of it is literally is just Google. Is if I'm Sea Lion, Operation Sea Lion, I'll just Google Operation Sea Lion and look in images and see if there's anything interesting there to use, and I will find stuff. But also, because I've been event modding, and I think a massive amount of element of events is why I always like events more than decisions. And if I use a decision, I always have it fire an event. Is the image, is the immersion of the image that happens when you have an event. That's sort of why I don't like exactly how this new event system is working in Hearts of Iron 4. But I think when I get in there and look at it, I like the idea that it's you can sort of trigger some of the stuff when you're ready for it, kind of thing. But I always want it to fire something that has an image with some text explaining what's going on. I mean, some things will just happen to you. Earthquake happens in Romania just before Barbarossa's getting started. There's a massive earthquake in there, so I have events dealing with it. I found out about this, and that the German army units, are some of them that some significant ones that were in Romania at the time, getting ready for Barbarossa. We're in Romania. They helped with the earthquake relief in Romania. So some things will just happen to you, and so I include pictures of that for that event. Well, so I've been for a long time now, starting back well before Third Reich Events was ever first released, starting to collect images that would either themselves sometimes, that would make a great event image. What kind of event can I make with that? And I don't even necessarily know. And so, collecting all kinds of stuff, and I do look at that as an asset that I am collecting. So yeah, I'm not just going to give them up, because it's an asset that I've worked a long time to collect on it. But one of the things, and this is just really sort of to make some filler content here, I'm admitting that, okay guys, I'm making some filler content. If you're interested in all, both for events and for thumbnail images, you need a horizontal image basically, and a lot of posters, the way they're designed and other things, are more vertical images. Again, you kids out there with a cell phone and you want to take video, hold it sideways. Don't hold it vertically, hold it sideways. I know when you play it back on your cell phone, it looks just fine vertical, but if you hold it sideways and take the video sideways, you can then upload it to YouTube or many other things, because, like, trust me, if you got some really interesting cat footage, or you see an eagle, I just saw an eagle that like a bald eagle or some large eagle picking up a fox or a coyote or something like that in the air, and then sort of drops it and then grabs it again before it can get to the ground. So if you ever happen to catch any interesting thing in your life that might go onto YouTube or something, hold your cell phone horizontal whenever you're taking video images, because you will very much be glad that you did if you ever really want to share it outside of just looking at it on your phone. And so keep that in mind for whatever it is, family films type things, big family get together, something. Hold the damn cell phone horizontally when you take images. Okay, but posters are often traditionally have done in sort of a vertical. And no, I don't know what that says right up there. And when I saved it, I didn't capture. I have begun taking the text around images and saving that as its name, so I know what's going on here. But I think that's the Merchant Marine flag, that's the national flag, that's the Navy flag. There's a Navy ship, there's a passenger liner type ship, and then passenger or shipping routes around the world. And so got this, and so what I did is I turned this image into a horizontal image, basically grabbing two parts of it and then taking this part here and just laying it over there and then erasing the elements to sort of blend them so it fits. So, and then obviously putting in Hearts of Iron 4, Black Ice 23, hashtag with this font doesn't go so well, so I'm just doing that. So you know what, just from the image, it's Hearts of Iron 4, Black Ice, even if this doesn't. So just sort of what I do to make thumbnails. And so put together, this was one of the more interesting ones. I think these are great sort of graphic images and want to use them. Again, I know I've said this before, thumbnail images for videos, they're meant to get you to click on them. So not quick clickbait as in you think you're getting something else, and you get something you're not expecting. Well, always got the name of the game up here. Always got that up here. So you know what's going on in the description. But I will use modern images. I will use other sort of graphic things to highlight sort of what's going on, or sometimes, quite honestly, I go, what's going on? And this is sort of a case of it. There's not a whole lot going on in this episode that's uses this thing. So, try to come up with something that hopefully makes people want to click on it and go. And so I've been taking to use photos of models and everything else. Now, when I make event images, and I might do something, well, without that so much, someday I might, if I want to do, I don't know, put a big red circle with a line through it saying, like U.S. is embargoing Japanese trade or something. I don't know. I might do something like this, but I very much, for event images, want to use images that people would have seen back then. If I don't know what the text says, obviously I could look up a couple of those things. I just don't remember well enough. Those are hiragana, but those are kanjis. I don't know. Because there's actually at least two alphabets. One's the Japanese, or the sort of the Chinese pictogram alphabet, or pictogram hieroglyphics, if you will. That. Those are an actual alphabet. Japan has two alphabets, and maybe there's even hiragana and katakana in it. But two, which the Chinese, think, and I know we got some Chinese viewers, think that they had such a high civilization, but they never developed an alphabet. An alphabet that relates to the sounds itself. They used hieroglyphics. Now, of course, in modern day, do we say English use? I don't know. In modern day use, we are going back to hieroglyphics of smiley faces and all those things. Emojis, I guess I should be saying, and other things, going back to hieroglyphics. But a really properly developed language has an alphabet that is some sort of letters. Again, these are letters. I just don't remember well enough. It's been many years since I was in my Japanese courses. I have to pull out my books. But those are two specific sounds that you put together to make a word. And so they have specific pronunciations, and you put those together and makes a word, as opposed to that and that. Those are a kanji, sort of a Japanese version of the Chinese hieroglyphic sets. And yes, if you know the hieroglyphs, yeah, you can read it easy, but it's not as flexible a language. But so I will get back on topic. You know I like to ramble. There will be images that you would have seen at the time, like this poster, or a photograph, of the time, there. I'm loathed inside of events, though I don't know whether I'll succumb because of the colorization use inside of Hearts of Iron 4, but in 3 I wouldn't use modern colorization. Sometimes in the olden days they'd actually hand color in coloring black and white images, and then but do offset printing based on the color put in there, and then I will use modern photographs of historical objects. So, I don't know, like a helmet or a rifle, or so modern picture, but of a historical rifle, or something like that. I will use that. And if I will use like a modern computer graphics thing, like a modern sort of Japanese flag, I normally try to blend that into the background a little bit to sort of soften it. But so when I'm talking event images, you're very much looking and seeing what people would have saw back then, as opposed to modern things. But hey, I'll use modern, a still taken from a modern movie or something like that, for a thumbnail image. So has this been enough wandering, meandering? Has everyone just hit the down thumb? Sorry, just don't have any game footage for Hearts of Iron 3 tonight, and we will be coming back to the live stream Saturday. If you're watching this before then, I'm gonna have to make thumbnails and video like that too. So yeah, just a lot of stuff to do. So hey, if you haven't already, please subscribe to the channel. You can post comments, questions about images. Again, I'm not going to share my library with you, I'm sorry, but that's not going to happen. But if you have other sort of questions, comments, questions, and so see you next time for more Hearts of Iron or something of interest, hopefully.